Hello, colleagues. My name is Claudia Abar, and I am a kindergarten teacher in District 4. I am also one of your virtual content specialists for kindergarten math. We wanted to go ahead and highlight a couple of things from today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be in Unit 5, Day 10. We wanted to highlight one of the apps that we have introduced in the past. We have introduced the number rack in a previous lesson. So for the purposes of this video, we are going to be going in and showing you a few more of the features and a few more of the ways that we would use this app when launching this lesson. Let's go into the implementation slide, which can be found in slide number 3 of the lesson. And it says, launch the lesson on the Math Learning Center's Number Rack app. The Number Rack is also known as Rec and Rec. So you can use any of the language that you feel comfortable with for your children. We are going to begin by showing the rack in the resting position. That is when it's 2 rows all the way to the right. So let's show you what that looks like. And you can access the app in 2 different ways. You can click on this right here, this hyperlink, which, there we go. Or you can also click on the hyperlink here on the introduction or launch slide. So when you go in here, go ahead and follow the link. When you first open the app, it will show you 2 rows. You want to give your students a few minutes if they're unfamiliar with the app to tell you what they notice. What do they notice? They will tell you that they notice 2 different rows. They might say 10 beats on each row. Whatever they say, affirm their accurate responses. For you, educators, there's a way to increase and decrease the number of rows. It's this feature down here. You can decrease to only work with 10, or you can increase to work with 3s, 4s, or whatever number you feel comfortable with. But today we're only going to be focusing on 2. So we're going to start with the beats on the resting position. And then after we do this, and after we get the students' responses, we want to go ahead and move 10 all at once. And the way that we will move them all at once is by going to the furthest beat, clicking on it, and sliding it all the way across so that it shows a 10 movement. So your students will now see 10 beats on one side. And then we want to go back here and say 2. This is the problem from the implementation slide. So now we would ask the students, what do you notice? The students should ideally say 12, 10, and 2. There might be 7 reds, 5 whites. Whatever answer they give you, continue to work with that. A couple of things that we wanted to show you is that some of your students might have difficulty focusing on these beats on the left side. The left side is the ones that we attend to. It's the ones that we're working with. They might still be focused on these. If that is the case for your students, we recommend using the shading option. You'll click on the shade. You'll place it over the beats that you want to hide. You'll adjust the size to it so that your students will now only focus on this side. When it's time to work on another problem, when you want to continue the practice, we strongly recommend going to the Start Over feature because there will be like a reset for your students. For my students, whenever I go back and I continue working without resetting, the answers aren't quite as sharp as they normally are. So here I will once again move all 10. Maybe on this occasion, I will move 6 and ask them, how many do you see? I will once again use the shading option because I do have some students that are still distracted. So I will go ahead and hide that. Now, once you have your answer here, we recommend drawing a number bond here, which I will do. You will click on the pencil option. Actually, let me move this first. There we go. And when the pencil, you will go ahead and do this. And because this isn't necessarily a drawing place, it might be a little bit sloppy, and I apologize for that. Let me get rid of this in a minute. How many do we see all together? You will go ahead and write whatever number your students told you in the beginning. So right now, my students might say 16. We want to go ahead and point out that this one row, it's always going to be 10, and the other number then changes. Now, there's a million different ways that you can do a number bond, excuse me. And while here, it recommends that you do it in a way that is accurate for your students, that it shows exactly what you're working on. For my students, we might use another app to do that, or I might ask them to do it on their dry erase boards. Okay, friends, I wanted to make sure that we highlighted a couple of the things that you can do with that app. We hope that you found this video useful. We'll see you soon. Take care.